Well, good morning and welcome to Integrative Preparedness. How are you all today? I am Steve Smith, and I want to talk today about preparing so that you can help others. I think that that's an important aspect of proper preparedness. I'm always surprised when I hear people say that they disagree with that. When they say, well, I'm just doing it for me and everybody else can go to you-know-where, right? I don't like that attitude. If you're fortunate enough to have the understanding and the clarity and the ability to prepare, and you're only doing it for yourself, I think you're missing a large part of the game. This morning, I was reading part 10 of the reversion for the Audible, which is available to the Stonemont level over on the Patreon channel. Now, if you're wondering what that is, I've had people, my series of books, the Stonemont series, the sponsor of all of my videos, the Stonemont series. 6 books now. I'm working on the 7th, the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. I call it the complete guide to preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a complete collapse of everything. Available Amazon or through our website, stonemont.us, links below. So I was reading part 10 of the reversion. And it, did I say, people have asked me, I guess I should back up. People have asked me for several years, when's an audible of your book going to come out, your book's going to come out? And I've looked at all different ways of doing that, and what I decided on, I'm going to read it myself, which a lot of people ask me to do. I'm going to read it myself because so many people say, when I read your books, I just hear your voice as Jim. A lot of people call me Jim. Matter of fact, one of our highly regarded patrons over there has given me the nickname Stone Smith for Stonemont. Thank you for that. I think that's it. That's neat. I don't mind it at all. She says, I hope it doesn't offend you. It doesn't offend me at all. The interesting thing is, and I'll slip this in here, is that although you all know me as Steve Smith, because that's the name under which I wrote the books, and so therefore introduced myself on this channel. All my life, the name that my parents called me, all my friends called me, everybody called me through my whole life is Craig Smith. And that probably sounds weird to you all because you're used to hearing me as Steve, but it seems odd to me every time I say Steve Smith. So I'm getting more used to it after, 4 years of doing this, but still, everybody who knows me, all my friends call me Craig. Feel free to call me Craig if you'd like to. But the interesting thing is that Craig means rock. And when you compare rock to stone, my new nickname from our patron over there, well, it means the same thing, right? Isn't that kind of cool? Well, anyway, so people have asked me, to do an Audible, and I decided to read it myself. Instead of going through one of the Audible companies and charging for it that way, and sometimes those Audible books can be kind of pricey unless they're giving them away for free, and to try to pump other books, and I'm not going to do that. I decided to make it available through the Patreon channel on the Stonemont level, which is the $5 a month level, and I'll be reading all of the books. Like I said, I'm up to part 10 in the reversion. And people like it, by the way. I'm finding that people are enjoying it, and I'm glad of that. Plus, I'm getting better. The first time I did it, to be honest, I stumbled over a couple of my own words and thought, what in the world, man? But anyway, things are going well with that. So if you're not with us on Patreon and you would like to be able to hear the audibles of the Stonemont series, that's the way to do it. Come on over, the link's down below, and you'll be able to hear all of it. So I was reading this morning part 10, and for those of you who may not be familiar with the Stonemont series, a total collapse comes. A family was who was prepared, was able to do well, and then bring some other people, a few other people into the fold and help them, and provide a place of safety and providence for them. And then Jim Wyatt, the main male character of the series. Excuse me, let me take a sip here. Yes, the Stone Mountain mug. People have been asking me, Steve, when do we get the Stone Mountain mug? There has been a glitch, something that I didn't like about the way they were coming out, and I'm working on the solution. I'll let you know when I find that solution and make them available through the website. So anyway, so Jim Wyatt has come to the decision. He says everything's falling apart. They live a little bit outside the city, but he says and he's explaining to the group at breakfast. He says I look out every morning. I come out on the veranda and I drink my coffee and I look out at I think about the city miles from here, the suburbs in the city, and I think about the people suffering, and I think about especially the children that are suffering, and hopefully their parents are trying to take care of them to the best of their abilities, but most of the people who are unprepared are not going to be able to do that. And the suffering that is going to come about as a result, it makes me realize that we should do everything we can to help those people. And so they've sat down at a meeting, and he says, here's how we're going to do it. And so he goes to explain. So that brought to my mind of doing this today. In my mind, your foresight and your ability to prepare, and maybe I shouldn't say you, because I couldn't, I shouldn't judge. What people think they want to do is up to them. For a person to only prepare for themselves and not to try to prepare to help others, I think is wrong. I'll just put it that way. I think it's wrong. And I've heard, as have you, I've read over the comments through the years about the people that say, I've tried to get so-and-so prepared, and I've tried to get my family, and I've tried to get, whatever. And they're just not hearing it. They want nothing to do with it. And so when it all comes down and they come to me, they're out of luck. I'm not letting them in. Think about what that means. That means that because someone disagrees with someone, they're going to die. I don't. I have never in my life sentenced someone to death for disagreeing with me. Sometimes we see things that others don't. Sometimes they see things that we don't. Have you ever had that experience that somebody saw something coming and you weren't really, on with it, but it turns out, that's true. Well, if you have been given the spirit of preparedness, and that has been put on your heart, count yourself fortunate, and understand that this is something that's going to help you. Preparedness is going to help you to live well. At the end of every video, I always say we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and that is our goal. It's not to scrape by. It's not to, live in a hole in the ground. Is to live well, to continue the quality of our lives. And if you do that only for yourself, I don't understand that. That's extremely limited. Do you not help people now? See, I don't get that. Decent people will help other people when the time comes. Not everybody sees it the way we do. So anyway, my point here is, when we talk about what are the basics of preparedness? What are the necessary building blocks, the foundational blocks of preparedness? Food, water, shelter, defense, people. Now, I put God at the top of it. I don't, everything is under God in my life. And I hope that it's the same in yours, but that's not my place to judge that. People. if you're serious about preparing, they realize that as a result of their blessings in the book, this is the reason that I wrote it, they have an obligation. And if you're familiar with the Bible, it's all through there, right? They have an obligation to help others. If you have that obligation, if you understand, you do have that obligation whether you understand it or not. If you understand that obligation and you accept that obligation, then you accept the obligation, excuse me just a second. Okay, I didn't figure you all needed to hear that fire truck go by or my dog howling at it. One of the benefits of living in the suburbs, right? If your house catches on fire, fire department's there like that. You need an ambulance, like that. People ask me, why do you live in the suburbs, Steve? That's one of the reasons. Okay, hi buddy, how you doing? So if you understand that you have that obligation to help others, and you have been given this in your heart to prepare, you, in my mind, have an obligation to prepare to help others. Now, whether you're able, to what extent you're able to do that now, depending on what you can afford, but this is one of those things that comes to the question. If you you've heard me say, hey, one of the best things you can do for preparedness is make more money. Okay, why make more money? Because people will say, well, I just want to do with a very little I can have, and you people who depend on your money, you're going to be without everything when your money crashes and they shut down your banks and your money's not good for anything, and it's blah, 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 blah. Well, money's good for a lot now. It can buy a lot of stuff, and you know what it can buy? It can buy preparedness items. It can buy a lot more food and clothing and medical supplies and boom booms and all other things that you might be able to help other people with when the crash comes. And yeah, I think the crash is coming. People ask me, Steve, do you really believe it's going to happen? Yeah, I do. I don't know when, but it's coming. It's going to come. It's my opinion. Okay. So that's what money does. It allows you to get more. But Steve, that's not as important as skills. Well, I'll tell you what. When you come into a problem when things can help, I'll be honest with you, a lot of times skills can't. Okay, so that's not putting down the people that understand the importance of skills. I understand the importance of skills, but what I'm saying is stop putting down those people who say, yeah, skills are great, but equipment, food, all those things is also important, because it is. So if it's been put on your heart to prepare, you should understand that along with that comes the obligation to be willing to help others, and that starts now. It starts right now with those people who laugh at you, those people that you can't stand. How they make fun of your preparedness. Some of those people are people you love, right? Some of those people are just, not people you love. They might be neighbors. They might be something like this. I don't mean this in a mercenary way, but you're going to need those people. You're going to need those people. And you shouldn't just prepare to provide for them because you're going to need them. You should do it because it's the right thing to do. But the trade-off is that you're going to help them, and they are going to be a very important part of your survival and your quality of life in the future. Now, the way they do it in my books, I'll leave that. I'm not going to give away all the secrets here, but I explain exactly how I would. What I say, I'll show you again here. People ask me all sorts of questions, right? I answer a lot of questions on Patreon. I don't answer a lot on YouTube, which is why if you're not with us on Patreon, you ought to be. But I'd say, I started writing my first book in 2015. It came out in 2017. I could make videos for 20 years and still never even come close to scratching the surface of everything that I've explained in detail in these books. One of the most important things you can do for understanding and building your preparedness plan. And so I'm not going to give away everything they do in there, because you know why? A lot of people haven't thought about it. And because they haven't thought about it, that you go, oh, I don't know, I couldn't do that, I'm not going to do that. But you should. You can and you should. Too many people sell themselves short when it comes to preparedness, what they can do and what they should do. So, you know, when it all comes crashing down, you should want to help other people. Just like you should want to help people now. Several years ago, one of our neighbors, across the cul-de-sac neighbor, lost his job, big-time job. You know, I went over there and I said, hey, sorry, you know, I mean, here's a line on a job if you want it. Here's something that could immediately start bringing in money to you and bring all the bennies, all the health insurance and everything like for your family. And I've got all the food you can possibly want. Don't worry about going to the grocery store. And that was just going, you know, just somebody losing their job. You should be in that situation to be able to help people like, and I know many of you are. I'm speaking to the ones who may not be and may not have thought of it. Okay? Think about it. Help people now. You should want to help people now. You should help people now. If you are able to help people now, that's a blessing the Lord has given you, and you should, you know, carry the blessings that He has given you in open hands, so that He can direct those blessings where He wants. It's not meant to be clutched here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the blessings. I'm keeping them. No. You want a good way to stop your blessings right now? Do that. God doesn't mean you to be the final receptacle of His blessings. He intends all of us. I shouldn't keep saying you. He intends me, intends all of us to be a conduit through which they flow to others. And so think about that. Think about it. Think about preparing to be able to help others, because they are going to help you in the future. And even if they didn't help you in the future, it's what you should do. Okay? So, the key to being able to helping others is preparing now. You know, I say prepare all you can. To whatever extent you've been preparing, up it, because things are getting worse, right? Prepare all you can and appreciate the blessing. You know, I always say that when people bless us, I mean, it's wonderful, right? And I've been blessed so many times in my life, probably you have too. But when we are given the opportunity to bless others, that in itself is a blessing. It's a blessing that we're able to bless others. Okay. Remember, this and all my videos are brought to you by the Stonemont series, my books. They are available on Amazon. All the lessons contained in there, or through our website, stonemont.us. Both of those links are down below. If you want them fast, get them from Amazon. If you would like them signed by me, and I love doing that, order through the website. It'll take a few days longer, but I get to write whatever you'd like in there. There's a place in the order form that says, what would you like Steve to write in the books? And it could be to you, it could be to your uncle or a friend or something like that. And I get a lot of those. I love those. People giving the sets away for gifts. And I love doing that. So, and all the lessons in there. When you find yourself asking, well, how could you do that? Chances are I've answered it. Okay. So, that's down there. If you want to come over to the Patreon channel, that link is down below. I hope you do. I wish you would. Look forward to seeing you over there. And remember, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. We don't just prepare for ourselves, right? We prepare so that we can help others who need it when they need it. Okay. You all have a great day. And, oh, by the way, if I didn't say this before, I read over on the Patreon channel, I read this beautiful prayer for travelers. That's also the kind of stuff I put over there. It's something that was given to us by the College of the Ozarks, something I'm putting up in my new office. So, you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.